My name is Zoe, I'm 12 years old, and I'm the CEO of Beautiful Curly Me. This weekend, Wells Fargo closed and emptied our business accounts, leaving us with $0. They closed our accounts saying that we did not have a physical office address when we had the office on there that we've been using for years, so that is simply untrue. How are we supposed to function without any cash? Through Beautiful Curly Me, I create dolls, books, and puzzles like Bella here to help inspire confidence in young Black and brown girls. I also give $1 away for every doll purchase, and my dolls recently launched on Target. A bank is supposed to support and help small businesses, not suppress us. And we really need your support to get through this time. Please, if you can, go to beautifulcurlyme.com and purchase one of our products and help us get through this rough time. We really appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
I pay on time. My credit is good.
An IT professional with a sterling credit score and down payment money ready to go, Henry Umayana, said there was no explanation for why his home loan with Wells Fargo, where he's banked for 2 decades, was never approved.
I keep waiting, and I pushed the closing date from April to May, from May to June. And meanwhile, I was still renting,
Umayana finally went elsewhere for the loan. He's one of the named plaintiffs in this class action lawsuit, alleging Wells Fargo discriminates against Black borrowers at all stages of the mortgage process. Attorneys behind the class action gathered with clients today at the Mount Zion Second Baptist Church in Atlanta's historic Old Fourth Ward.
They're discriminating against Black people, and it's systematic.
The lawsuit alleges Wells Fargo denies mortgages for Black borrowers more often, charges higher interest rates for Black borrowers, charges them higher costs and fees, and offers fewer refinancings.
I thought I was a shoo-in.
Atlanta resident Christopher Williams long worked in finance himself and says the real estate loan Wells Fargo offered him came with a much higher rate than it should have, and then he found elsewhere.
My credit score was just under 800 before I applied. When they told me my credit score, when I applied, they told me it was 100 points less.
Wells Fargo characterizes the lawsuit as, quote, unfounded attacks, telling us in a statement, we are deeply disturbed by allegations of discrimination that we believe do not stand up to scrutiny. We are confident that we follow relevant government-sponsored enterprise guidelines in our decision-making and that our underwriting practices are consistently applied, regardless of a customer's race or ethnicity.
Seems like the only common denominator was the color of the applicant's skin.
Now, Wells Fargo counters this evening to us that it is the largest lender for home loans for African Americans in the country. Now, the attorneys for this class action say they won't know how big the class is until they can get discovery, get documents from Wells Fargo, but they estimate that tens of thousands of Black Wells Fargo customers could be impacted here. Reporting live in the Old Fourth Ward neighborhood, Justin Gray, Channel 2 Action News.
Justin.
And just for context, real quick, y'all, that Ian Miles Chong is one of these. He's one of these anti-Black, so-called heavy right-wing, model minority, OU Negroes, black on black crime and all that. He don't mention the triads and all that. He don't mention the nail shop trafficking in his culture. He never mentions that. So he's over here with us because he couldn't make it in his homeland well. So he's always saying something slick about Black Americans all the time. So just so y'all know in context, I'm just throwing that in there. What's up, world? So I wanted to, I guess I could go this way. They waiting on me. guess so. Okay. Okay, so let me get my bearings together, y'all. So this will be part 3 to the story. I put this one into the book too, and I sent my homie a picture so he could kind of remember it. So I sent my homie a picture. He thought it was funny, so I used brother chat to basically make an image of a nosy white guy, and his nose was long, and he's just trying to interfere in his stuff. So I sent him a picture of that in the bank, and he sent me like a little emoji. He just thought it was hilarious, you know, because he remembers when I sent him that picture, he knew exactly that story that he had told me. So I might send him the video of the channel or whatnot, you know what I mean? So this is the next story he told me. Now this story, when he told me this one, this was years ago, but he told me to write this up because I was telling him about the book, and I was dealing with, I said, okay, what do? You know, we used to always kind of talk about what we dealt with in the IT field with suspected race soldiers at work. So he had this manager. It was a contract. He was working on a very, very, very large first-person shooter. And he was doing, and they hire a bunch of people for QA. So it's good to have it on your resume or whatnot. So he's doing the QA work. He's, you know, doing the game or playing the game. I don't know what they do, however they do it. But so he's doing his job. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. He's finding the defects. The manager starts tripping about something that she's saying he's not doing, or whatever the case may be. So he's asking her to correct it. He's asking for support. She blows her top and gets upset. She don't want to provide him the information that he's asking for. So she starts berating this man. This sloppy white woman is berating this man. Here's your DEI. For you DEI folk, here's your DEI now. This white lady is showing her ass at work, cursing at this man, doing all that. So now what does he do? Now he's a contractor, but he goes to HR. And HR says, we ain't gonna do nothing about it. We're gonna continue to violate your due process, which is your 5th Amendment rights. And then now, under equal protection of the law, they're violating his 14th Amendment rights. Got some black folks out there. They selling some stuff, look like they selling plates. They be out there a lot. They be out there a lot. You're out there getting their money. Usually a lot of times when you ain't got no permit, they be messing with you and stuff like that. So get your bread. I don't really keep a lot of cash all the time. You know, I should start doing that more. And that's another thing that I be wanting to talk about is this cashless, so-called cashless society that we're going towards. It's the stupidest shit ever. I agree with David Banner says streaming was the dumbest shit ever. Them dudes get $7, $8 a CD. Now you get pennies. It was the stupidest shit ever. It's convenient. And, you know, streaming, YouTube, we like it. We all like the technology because, you know, it's easy. But it was horrible. It was a horrible idea. So now the weed man, the little man, the small business or whatever like that, they're all swept under just digital currency. So now I can't get under the table, give them, man, let me go give you an extra $2, $3. I mean, you could tip in Cash App or do something like that, but it's just dumbest idea ever. It seems like more of a measure of control more than anything, if that's the route we're going. But anyway, so to me, cash is king. Cash should always be king. There should be some measure. So he goes to HR. HR's on code with the suspected white supremacists. Now, she's not doing this to anyone else at the company. She's not doing this to the white guys. She's not doing this to, you know, she's not doing this to other people at the company. which I found very odd. So when I wrote up the report, I didn't call it a complaint. We don't use that term, because when you say complaint, they think of, oh, a grievance, a gripe, he's complaining. A report, that's the term. So when I wrote up the report, that's the story that I told. So he never did get any justice in that regard. Nothing was done, but that's when I started hearing little stories like this and start thinking back on things that happened to me, I really start digging into the code concept that Neely Fuller had wrote about with the fifth and 14th Amendment. Yeah, we seen that law, we heard about it, equal protection, 14, but what does it really mean? Due process. And that's why I did that other story. And I think I'm gonna tie this together, once I reload it up. When I was analyzing that 5th and 14th, I did a broadcast about that. So I might take a screenshot and figure out a way where I could just tie all these together so you could watch this and then go and listen to that analysis. Because it was a brother that broke it down. Now, it was another brother that took the code, Fuller's code, and applied it in IT. And that was the audio that I was kind of stopping and going and doing my analysis on. Because that shit's real. It's not no plebiscite babble. It ain't no pseudo shit. That shit is tried and true in every step of the imagination. That's why one of the reasons I wrote the book in the manner that I did, because that concept is tried and true. This brother took the code and started. So when he started using the Constitution against these race soldiers, they blamed the situation on another dude that didn't have nothing to do with it. They accused this brother of doing something, and they blamed it on a whole nother party. So that goes to show you that white supremacy will eat itself alive. They will literally eat themselves up alive if they can't use it on you. If they can't use you, they might go to the next race. If they can't use that, they'll just eat each other up. They'll just cannibalize themselves. It's a very cannibalistic religion. It's a cannibalistic practice. So, yeah, this is, like I said, this was probably one of your best first person shooters. This game that he was working on. I won't tell you the game, and I won't tell you the company. Now, y'all can speculate. I know the name. I got all the information. I know what it is. I just won't say. Now, if he happens to watch this and he says, yeah, man, go ahead and tell what the company was, I just might do that. I might do what, because this is his truth. This is what they did to him. So, there's another story that I got, but that one's a lot smaller. I'll let y'all go ahead and read the book for that. So that'll be enough for today.